cash paid for property acquisition and development was $5.2 million, but yet they only brought in $600,000.
Which is very typical. If you look at that over multiple years, that's what that was the nature of the affordable housing that they were producing. Their cost of sales was anywhere between 3.7 and 6.5, so that they were spending 6 times, in that example, 6 times what they were realizing in sales.
So how are the constituents expect to get their money repaid, $3.4 million?
I had the same question.
Let me ask another question. The strategic, what have you called this organization now that's supervising Wilmington Housing Partnership, Strategic Fund something?
Your question, the Housing Opportunity Fund?
No, I think I was told there's a strategic fund that is going to, what's the name of the partnership that Wilmington Housing Partnership is going into with the city? Does it have a name?
No. What happened is, as far as the audit, well,
Okay.
a couple things happened, but as far as I'm not familiar with a strategic partnership that has a name to it.
Strategic
She's talking
Housing
about
Fund?
the CAFR, in the CAFR. That's what she's talking about. There's a house,
It's
a
under that.
strategic fund or something.
It's
Okay.
under that line
Okay,
item.
the strategic fund, as I understand it, is the Housing Opportunity Fund, which is an account fund that is part of the Real Estate and Housing Account 255, and that's for housing initiatives.
Well, if the Wilmington Housing Partnership, whatever it is, whoever they are going under this, who is managing and supervising this entity?
The president, which is me. As far as what happened is that the board was reduced in size, the bylaws were changed, and what happened is that the board now is made up of a majority of municipal, either appointed folks like me, department heads, or elected officials, and as far as the accountants looked at it and said that because it is now influenced, it can be influenced by the city, it should be part of the city's, we talk about the CAFR, part of the city's reporting.
Can you give us the names of the people on the board?
Yes, that's absolutely.
And just for record, that is
on there, okay.
that is in a footnote in on the opening statement, but we'd be happy to read that.
Yes. So the president is Bob Weir. The treasurer secretary is Herb Inden. The voting members are the Honorable Charles M. Friel, Richard Geisner, J. Brett Taylor, Hewlett Kirby, Sharon Orris Morgan, and Tanya Washington.
Is there a value on these houses, the 98 houses?
I'm
This
sorry.
is the last list I got from the city of homes that Wilmington Housing Partnership owns. Are there values on these parcels?
I don't have it in front of me, so you're saying,
98 houses here.
yes, in the audit, there are values to each property.
Oh, in the upcoming audit, there's
Yes.
a value for each of them? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Come out, and Councilwoman Gray, I think that when you see that the properties that the housing partnership had, they've got a great history of helping many, many people around the city. And I think it's very easy to say that that money that they had is in a little pinch went to every home buyer that bought homes. I mean, you could the McCoy Way. I mean, you talk about some of the properties over in Browntown. I mean, they all were sold at way under what they cost to build them.
Councilman Congo and then Councilman Guy. Councilman Guy?
Yes, I'm glad that you made me remember. Okay, because I remember that happening, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happened too. And nowadays, what people don't talk about is there was a day when the city of Wilmington was a affordable housing developer. So all of this stuff of payola, I call it, giving this nonprofit free property and giving them grants and giving all that, the city was the developer. And the city as the developer could have took Bennett Street itself and developed it. And the banks know that there's no middleman It's the city doing this. And the city's putting in its money too. Okay, so what I'm saying is what has changed since then is how some people can make some money being in the affordable housing business, almost to the exploitation of the people who need affordable housing. That's one thing that has changed in the environment. And the banks are aware of that. And that's why some of their CRE money has dried up as well. But the other thing is that this organization had 5 or 6 bankers on it. I don't know if they tore down the website since you've been there, but last time you were here with me, I pointed out to you that the Wayback Machine gave me the list of who the board was back then. So all them bankers, they vanished, right? But they don't have any accountability. They have fiduciary responsibility for what took place. This $3.4 million is city money. Earlier we talked about crying about $500,000 for inspections, and you just confirmed what I said earlier. You can do 5 houses at most. Maybe they can develop 5 or 6 houses with $500,000 because they're just deciding, well, we're gonna put all this money in. We're gonna put $100,000, $200,000 in the house, and it's only gonna sell for $100,000. All that mess went on. And then what you had is you had the chairman of the board for this housing partnership. That was the same person all the way back from Dennis Williams all the way up to when this blew up. The same chairman of the board, the Pacini Polling Group head, right? And y'all gonna tell us, the citizens, that our $3.4 million is just gone and we're gonna never get it back. Well, you know and I know, and the city solicitor, he's like sitting over there internally, he's almost bagging up because you're doing a heck of a job of selling this to try to make us all go to bed and sleep at night that everything's okay. But at the end of the day, where is our $3.4 million? See, and what the mayor has done is, when I look at this list of people, so we had the bankers on there and the developers on the board, and the same politician, Bud Friel, the same group of people. So now what they've done is they've taken it all in-house. All government people. What that does is that shuts out access to information. So you sitting here with a lawyer that they said is from the city's law department. But the city's law department, to my knowledge, because I've said it multiple times, hasn't taken one step to try to get any of our money back. And they've not made any effort. But the city's law department had to be involved to give somebody, who in the world gives somebody a $3.4 million unsecured loan? The city of Wilmington? With Pazicki's buddy, chairman of the board? So what do you get to do? If I gave you right now $3.4 million unsecured loan, we vote and say,
Madam Chairwoman, does the council person have a question for Mr.
Well,
Weir?
no, you're not a councilman.
That's correct.
So you don't have no business interrupting me.
I'm talking to
but you don't have any business interrupting me.
We're here to answer some questions.
No, because the law